Hey y'all, welcome. Today we are going to be going over some beginner sci-fi books. This list consists of 13 books. Yes, it is a very odd number, but that's just how it ended up being when I counted up all the books that have 3 votes or more, or were recommended by 3 or more people. If you saw my beginner fantasy video, then you will know how I did this. I combed through YouTube searching for all of the recommended beginner sci-fi books, so the easiest books to help you get into the sci-fi genre. This was actually a bit harder than the fantasy because fantasy has so many videos for that one. But sci-fi, I had to expand it from just within the past year to within the past 2, almost 3 years, to have more options of videos to be able to give to you guys and more votes to be able to give to you guys. It was odd. I mean, I was expecting it to have almost the same amount because sci-fi and fantasy are both huge genres, I figure. I was wrong, but all the videos that I used though to compile this list with the different creators are going to be in the description below so you can check them out for yourself. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video of the 13 books. Okay, so we will work from the lowest up to the most recommended book to build suspense. The first ones are going to be the ones recommended by at least 3 people, and there are 6 books in this particular portion. The first one is going to be a classic called The Star's My Destination by Alfred Bester. It's also seen as Tigers, and like the guy has tiger looking skin on one of the cover versions. In this one, people can apparently transport themselves with a thought, and also though somehow the main character, his name is Gulliver, and he is left to die in space. None of the descriptions seem to say how he was left to die or why he was left to die, but he was in space, left to die, and a ship comes by and he thinks it's going to rescue them, but they just kind of observe and leave him there still, even the one that didn't rescue him. And he does escape, lives, and it goes on a mission of vengeance to track down that ship that didn't save him. Next up with 3 votes is going to be Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This one was also highly recommended for fantasy readers because of its world building, and I agree. It is very wonderful with that. I love this book. This one though, it is following stragglers from Earth after Earth has been destroyed pretty much, and they have been on this Ark ship for a very long time. They are going to a utopia planet that a group of ancient Earth people made for them a long time ago, and they travel the stars to try to find this planet that is supposed to be made perfect for humans. When they get there though, they do not find it empty and just waiting for them. There is another species already there, and tensions arise, and it's going to be a battle between both species to see who will actually, get to live on this wonderful utopian planet. Wonderfully done, multiple perspectives over years of time. So you jump around in timelines. I won't say jump around, it's always moving forward. We're always moving forward, but multiple points of view. Excellently done world building. I was super entertained by this book. Next up is another newer release book, and this is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. In this one, you are following a would-be astronaut. Well, he's on a ship, Ryland Grace, and he wakes up and he does not remember who he is or why he's there or where he is, but he slowly starts to, memories come back from the amnesia, and realize that he is on a life-saving for humanity mission. If he does not complete his mission, then all of humanity could die. He was on the ship with 2 other people, but they did not make the trip. They didn't survive the trip like Ryland did. And so it's a race against time to figure all of this out. I'm not very far into it, but so far I'm loving it. There's a lot of science, a lot of real science in this. So yes, I like that aspect of the sci-fi work. So, yep. This next one, I'm not sure if it's a classic. How old does it have to be a classic? Or does it just become a classic? I don't know. This, though, has won several awards. It is Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. Yes, okay. In this one, a man with an unusually low IQ, so mentally a little bit slow, is offered an experimental treatment by some scientists for, something that's supposed to make him a genius, pretty much. It raises his intelligence level. This has been proven to work on a mouse named Algernon, and they go through with the treatment, and he becomes a genius, even smarter than the scientists who, developed this and did the procedure on him. However, they begin to notice that Algernon's state is deteriorating back, and now they do not know what is going to happen to Charlie, the main character, the man who got the surgery. I don't think I said his name earlier. So it's supposed to be a very touching tale. I never read this, but I kind of think it might have been high school reading for some people. I don't know. I've seen it. I've never read it. Okay, the next one is an actual classic, both in its age and its belovedness by people. This is Foundation by Isaac Asimov, and I'm going to read the actual description so I don't get this wrong. For 12,000 years, the Galactic Empire has ruled supreme. Now it is dying, but only Hari Seldon, creator of the revolutionary science of psychohistory, can see into the future, to a dark age of ignorance, barbarism, and warfare that will last 30,000 years. Holy crap. To preserve knowledge and save humankind, Seldon gathers the best minds in the Empire, both scientists and scholars, and brings them to a bleak planet at the edge of the galaxy to serve as a beacon of hope for future generations. He calls his sanctuary the Foundation. So a lot of people mention it's just revolutionary, and it's just incredible how Asimov came up with his own science here, and yet it seems so real. It's so involved and detailed. Our last of the 3 recommended votes is going to be Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. This is the first in the Expanse series. This one was really good, and you can just read it on its own or read the whole series, because the first one, it's a good enough story in itself that if that's all you want to read and you don't want to have to delve into a whole series, that's fine. It wraps up its own storyline there in this book. Leviathan Wakes, though, follows James Holden, who is the XO, which I think is like first mate on the Canterbury, which is a water hauler frigate in the asteroid belt. And then also you see from Detective Miller, who is looking for a lost rich girl. Her parents employed the private security firm to find her, to bring her back from the belt. In this one is all contained in our solar system between Earth, Mars, and the asteroid belt. Mostly, though, you will hear between, actually pretty much everything takes place just on the asteroid belt at this point in time. But all 3 of them are mentioned, and there's politic drama, but mostly it is just contained to themselves in this novel, and things of course will expand though in future novels. That description probably didn't go great. I hope though you'll still pick it up, because that book was great. I should have maybe just read the description. I don't know. I'm trying not to read from the thing today. We're going to move on now though into the books that received 4 votes, and there's a total of 3 books in this category. The first one is going to be Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. In this one, our main character is Jason, who is a physics professor, and he is attacked, and when he wakes up, he's strapped to a gurney, surrounded by people in hazmat suits, and someone says, "Welcome back, my friend," and he does not recognize this person. And his wife is not his wife, his son is no longer there, and apparently he's a genius who has discovered something incredible, unimaginable. But now he has to find his way back to his normal reality with his wife and his son, all while having odd feelings, getting entangled into this other reality where he's having conflicting feelings, pretty much. And yeah, I've heard so many people love this book, and like I said, 4 people on this list recommended it. Thought about it, not sure about reading it. Maybe I'll read it. The one after that though is going to be Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This one, we follow Darrow, who is a Red on Mars, as the Reds have been sent to Mars to colonize it for humanity's expansion into the solar system. They need to get this very valuable thing from underneath Mars called helium-3 to terraform the planet to make it habitable for human life. They believe this is their mission, but after, years, generations of suppression, without really realizing it and not really questioning anything, there have been some that have decided that things are not right, and Dara's wife is actually willing to listen to this, and she becomes kind of a martyr that pushes him into fulfilling his true potential, because she has always seen that, they should be free. She sees them as enslaved, and he doesn't believe her until after her death, and that pushes him, and he meets people who show him the truth. That Mars has been settled a long time ago, and they are just slaves. And thus what ensues is kind of a Hunger Games-ish thing, as Darrow tries to bring down the Gold Society from within, because the Golds are, of course, the ruling class. Yeah. this one was awesome. And I cannot wait to continue with the series because I do hear that the writing only gets better and better. Now another Andy Weir book, and this is The Martian. Highly praised, got a movie with Matt Damon, you know. This one though, we follow Professor, Doctor, it just says astronaut, Mark Watney, as 6 days ago, so the beginning of the book, he became one of the first people on Mars. Now he thinks he's going to be the first to die there, as an event happened when the crew was leaving Mars. I think it was a storm. Yes, a storm. And he was not able to join his crew on the shuttle back to the one they had in orbit to be able to escape. And they had no way to get back down to him at that point in time. And so now we follow Mark as he is using all the knowledge he has and all of the little supplies that they had there for what was supposed to be like a short term, as he's going to try to survive on Mars. And he does become one of the first people to survive on Mars long term until they can come back and rescue him. The last line, it says, will his resourcefulness be enough to overcome the impossible odds against him? I think, well, the movie was good, and I do believe that this one is supposed to be based a lot on real science and humor. So this one, a lot of more people seem to recommend this one though than Project Hail Mary. A lot more people seem to like The Martian than Project Hail Mary, so I really want to be able to get to The Martian too. On to the ones that have 5 votes, and these are 3 more in this one as well. The first one going to be Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. This is a different type of sci-fi, as it doesn't deal with space or anything like most of them have. This one is more of a time travel sci-fi, and it also speaks to the human brutality and horror, really. This one though, we are following Dana. She is 26-year-old in 1976, on her birthday actually, when she is transported into the past without seeing her knowledge or her ability to control it. And she is sent into the 1800s onto Maryland, but a slave plantation, where she ends up saving the slave owner's son. And as an African American woman living in the 1970s, you know, she is used to completely different, and now she is in the time of slavery and having to deal with the brutality and the horror and witnessing horrible things. I believe though this is told in the way of where it goes back and forth. I think so she travels from 1976 to the 1800s on more than one occasion, and having to deal with both timelines and come to grips with it, of what is happening. I think it doesn't say that in the description, but I think that's what they said when they described it in some of the other videos. This next one, I do not agree, but 5 people said it. So Dune by Frank Herbert. I don't think this is a good beginner book. I really don't, because it is just, besides the fact that it is chunky, it's dry. To me, it's dry. Okay, I will try not to put my bias on this. In this though, we do follow a few different characters, and yes, as some people said, once you get through the description of the characters and all the introduction of the characters, it gets better. Maybe it definitely does change. There's different parts in it, but mostly you're following Paul Atreides as him and his family are moving to the planet of Arrakis, which is the desert planet where spice, a very valuable mineral for the galactic, universal, whatever, empire, is farmed. His father though is sent there to be the caretaker of the planet for this time period. However, forces in the background do not want to give them. They have this blood feud between the families, and things are set in motion that completely alter the course of the future. Paul is believed possibly to be this chosen one type character, or not chosen one, but prophesized character of the Bene Gesserit and also the people there. Yeah, well, that's its own thing. The Bene Gesserit, of course, being this background society made up of women who legitly just manipulate and alter what the future is going to hold. I did not care for the book, but so many people love it. It's a classic. It's a thing. Also, so many people say, though, that the second book is really where the series gets started and where it's the best. So, and moving on, we have Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Yes, the short, funny book about Arthur Dent, who just wants to save his house from being demolished to build an interstate highway. When along comes a group of aliens letting the whole planet know that our planet must be demolished to form a galactic highway. Arthur, though, is saved from the planet by his friend Ford, whose first name I no longer remember how to pronounce, who is actually not from England, but is an alien who has just been kind of stuck on the planet after doing his research because he is helping to write The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This one is full of small funny moments. I did expect myself to have enjoyed it more than I did because I thought it would be, I don't know, I was expecting a little bit more humor. There is kind of a dry humor to it. Fans of Discworld also might enjoy this one. I kind of like Discworld more, or I enjoyed Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy movie a bit more, but as ever, always the answer is 42. And the book with the most recommendations, with a total of 8 people out of all of them recommending this book, is Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. I almost said Cloud. Not sure why. In this book, we are following Andrew Ender Wiggin as he is at a battle school. And this is because in this point in time of history where humanity has been at war with this alien species known as buggers, for 100, 200 years, they have started breeding children geniuses, raising them up from very, very small to be geniuses. And then they send them to these battle schools to become generals and the leaders of the Earth's soldier forces. And Ender is supposed to be smarter than everyone. He is supposed to be that. But of course, being a kid around a bunch of other kids, I think teenagers, there's going to be high tensions, there's going to be drama as why are you better? Why are you smarter? How are you smarter? I don't think you're smarter. All of this. And as they're coming to realize who their enemy is, what their enemy is, and actually going out into battle, like leaving school and realizing what real battle is and the heart problems of that, like can they handle the stress? Can they do this? It's supposed to be a really good book for showing empathy and stress and humanity. I want to get around to reading this one, especially, it's the highest rated book, so I should have read it, but it's probably a good one. Kid's 11, so he can read it too. Buddy read with my kid. Well, these are the highest rated of the beginner recommended books. Out of all 94 books though, that's only 13, so that means there are 67 individual books that the various videos recommended as each person thought this book would be a good intro to fantasy. There were some very interesting ones. Oh, kitty. Like not mine. There was one outside. All the videos that I used to compile this list though, there's 2 that I enjoyed the way they broke it down, and I would recommend those. I'll put extra stars next to their names down below. And the way they did it though is based off your intro to sci-fi level, and the other one is based off of what type of books you like to read normally if you're just getting into trying to read sci-fi, and she recommends based on your other book preferences. So I would like to be that kind of a recommender. Goals. That's a goal. If you enjoyed this video though, let me know in the comments down below, or if you disliked it, thumbs up, thumbs down. I understand. Let me know too though. I would love to know if you agreed with this video, like which books were recommended and which ones you would recommend to people trying to get into sci-fi, plus what your favorite sci-fi books are. Let's do that. Let's mention what our favorite sci-fi books are. Thank you so much for being here. If you were looking for some new books though, you could check out this video of this week's new releases. And if you're enjoying my content and haven't yet already, consider subscribing so you could come join us for future reviews, unboxings, vlogs, and general bookish videos such as this. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hope you're finding something awesome to read today, and I'll see y'all later.